Cell versus Metal Sonic. Dragon Ball versus Sonic the Hedgehog. Alright, guys, I'll make my prediction out the gate. There's a couple odd things here, because one, Death Battle hates Dragon Ball. They've cheesed Dragon Ball in cases where it should obviously win multiple times. But that being said, Sonic should win here if they're using the OG Archie comics. If they bring Archie comic lore into account, Metal Sonic actually should take the dub. So let's find out how they go about this.
Cell versus Metal Sonic.
Which copycat android is truly the superior model?
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Alright, chat, I need your predictions now. Let them fly. Type in Cell or Metal Sonic. I need, like, I want to see this chat on screen flooded with your predictions.
There's a monster stalking Gingertown. No one who's seen it has lived to tell the tale. All it left behind was their clothes. Something ate these people's insides, leaving only a shadow behind.
Some kind of...
Only a shadow. Like, was that a Sonic reference within your script? Or is it just happenstance?
creature driven only by the need to feed. Earth's new apex predator, the ultimate life form.
The Namekian Piccolo went to investigate this manslayer and discovered that it was intelligent. Its tail could unravel to absorb its hapless victims and add their energy to its wretched gestalt.
But the nightmare was only just beginning, because for its last trick, somehow this freak of nature knew the Kamehameha.
The mystery of this creature's origin was decades in the making. Years ago, the world was terrorized by the most advanced paramilitary organization in history.
Alright, so here's the dealio. I have caught Death Battle getting Dragon Ball lore wrong in the past. So far, they're on track. But I'm going to see if they actually get it all entirely correct, because I just got a feeling they won't.
The Red Ribbon Army.
Until they got rocked by this little kung fu gremlin, Son Goku.
But Red Ribbon's dream of revenge lived on within their head scientist, Dr. Gero.
Hiding away in his spooky cave laboratory, Gero would go to work studying the Z-Fighters from afar, learning everything there was to know about them.
And building a series of androids that would destroy his spiky-haired nemesis once and for all.
He made a ton of them. Infinite energy androids, key-absorbing androids, trucker head androids, and even... Infinite energy androids, key-absorbing androids, trucker head...
I love this movie. I don't care if it fucks with canon. I don't care if it makes no sense. Super Android 13 might be my second favorite Dragon Ball Z film. Of the non-canon bunch. Fucking love Android 13.
Androids, and even...
Yeah, Cyborg is it. Don't you lecture me with your $30 haircut. Like, the line he says to Trunks, I don't know why, that is such a funny fucking line.
Ginger androids.
However, none of Gero's creations were capable of matching that drive to improve that Goku and his fellow martial artists possessed.
Luckily, he had one more android left. A cute little booger so complex he'd take years after Gero's death to complete. Its name was Cell.
Born from a single cell, get it? This android possessed the genetic information of all the greatest warriors that had battled on Earth, and, when fully evolved, would become unstoppable.
And with their DNA, Cell absorbed all their powers and techniques too.
Common among all of them is the power to manipulate ki, or the energy that exists in all living things, and weaponize it to fire energy blasts, fly at faster than light speeds, move things with telekinesis, and create force fields.
From the humans, Krillin and Tien, Cell knows the multiform technique, Destructo Disc, and the Tri-Beam, his extra special favorite. Oh, weird.
I don't really know if that was from Krillin. That Destructor Disc actually looked more like Frieza's variation of it, but whatever.
I'm not seeing Chaozu on this list. Sorry, bud.
Is Chaozu human?
Oh.
Okay.
Chaozu is based on a Chinese vampire, actually, but
Cell can fire the Death Beam, as well as breathe in and travel through the vacuum of space with the alien genes of Frieza and his father.
And because he's got Piccolo's DNA, Cell can regenerate humongous damage to his body at the cost of some keys.
Cell has survived having half his body vaporized multiple times, and cannot be destroyed unless the small cluster of cells at the core of his being is eradicated.
Should that little bugger survive, Cell will always return, even stronger than before because of the Saiyan DNA he got from Goku and Vegeta. Definitely the cream of the genetic crop.
Sure, he can perfectly.
Alright, key manipulation, flight, absorption, telekinesis, self-destruct, Saiyan power boost, Zenkai boost, come on guys, Namekian regeneration, Kamehameha, instant transmission, and that's kind of a cheat, but Gallic gun, big bang attack, special beam cannon, death beam, I don't think he can do the big bang attack. Pretty sure Vegeta only unveiled that after Cell was already in construction. But anyway, Solar Flare, Multiform Technique, Tri-Beam, Destructive Disc, Spirit Bomb. Alright, all this is pretty much accurate.
Replicate attacks like the Gallic Gun, Spirit Bomb, and of course Kamehameha, as well as teleport by locking onto a living being's key signature.
But the best part of being a Saiyan is how much crazy stronger they get every time they almost die.
They can even evolve to become orders of magnitude stronger in the midst of battle. Combine that with Cell's healing factor, and he is effectively the
No, I don't believe he does have Gohan's DNA. I could be wrong, I'm pretty sure he doesn't have Gohan's DNA.
ultimate warrior.
Like a perpetual shonen motion machine.
Driven by a biological imperative, Cell wanted nothing more than to devour Giro's previous androids, 17 and 18, believing it would make him perfect.
Only one problem. The Cell we know was born in the future, and both 17 and 18 had been destroyed. So he murdered Trunks and went back in time. Not our Trunks, future Trunks. Well, not future Trunks, but another future Trunks. It's very complicated. There's like 5 timelines.
As Cell defeated and absorbed the androids, he evolved, not only getting stronger, but changing his personality and developing a lust for battle.
He became less creepy bug serial killer and more, well, Saiyan. After exploiting that very Saiyan arrogance and warrior's pride, Cell finally became perfect.
And easily dominated Trunks and Vegeta, the latter of whom had decades of battle experience under his belt.
Perfect Cell's power was off the charts. He could threaten the whole Earth just by powering up with a full power Kamehameha.
You know, this is one of those few death battles where I'm actually, like, logistically speaking, unless they're able to make a really good argument for it, Metal Sonic better win. He should. Metal Sonic better win. But being as Dragon Ball Z is my favorite anything ever in the history of the entire fucking universe, I'm not going to be upset regardless of who wins here.
He was even capable of destroying our entire solar system.
While the vast majority of our solar system's mass is located in the sun, this still means that Cell's key wave would have to reach 2.8 billion miles to eradicate every planet.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's... Okay, it's plasma-based energy. I mean, it's light-based. It's not going to stop unless another force acts. You know what? Never mind.
Whiz, maybe he was just exaggerating.
Not likely. Cell's claim has been backed up in multiple guidebooks, and even demonstrated outright in the video games.
Cell's even stronger in the anime adaptation, considering the time Frieza blew up Namek. In the anime, the explosion was literally hundreds of light years wide and lit up the friggin' galaxy.
And Cell was far stronger than Frieza was at that point in time.
Hell, the Namekians could sense him all the way from a different galaxy and thought he might be a threat to the whole universe.
He's also incredibly fast, capable of blitzing even the strongest Z fighters at the time. Goku flew from Grand Kai's planet of heaven all the way.
Okay, no. You're using non-canon filler arcs. I mean, okay, I guess if you're gonna use non-canon filler arcs, then that would also give license to use the Archie comics for Metal Sonic, so I can't be too mad at this. But we'll see.
Way to hell, hundreds of billions of light years in half a minute. And that was in his base form.
Yeah, that's cool, but how...
Oh, so you acknowledge now how fast Goku is, even though you screwed his speed. Yo, thanks for the sub, Vichy. You screwed his speed in the Goku vs. Superman death battle, but now you acknowledge how fast he is? Fuck you.
About the power to squeeze mini Cell Juniors out of your butt. What? Never heard of that key technique? Call it the Kegel.
Perfect Cell was entirely without peer and, no longer wedded to Giro's petty grudge, decided to prove it with a tournament.
The Cell Games! And if Goku couldn't even beat him, what hope did anyone else have? Vegeta couldn't even handle a Cell Jr.
Their last hope was Goku's own son, Gohan.
After Cell arrogantly let him power up, Gohan unleashed his rage, pushed the bug monster to his absolute limits, and beat him. Wow, Cell, you really are related to Vegeta, aren't you?
In truth, Cell was a victim of his own success. The same Saiyan genes that made him
No, he was a victim to Vegeta's hubris.
all-powerful also sowed the seeds of his defeat.
He got so mad he even blew himself up. Maybe he does have some Chaozu in him after all.
Even that wasn't enough to totally put him down, and he came back with the same Super Saiyan power-up that Gohan had just unlocked.
Super perfect Cell! Now with more lightning, in a battle for the ages, Cell put the entire weight of his biological programming against one lone Saiyan, and went the distance.
But in the end, it still wasn't enough. No matter how brilliantly Dr. Gero copied the Z-Fighters, he still couldn't quite figure out their knack for going beyond.
What can be destroyed can always be rebuilt. All it takes.
Wait, are they gonna be bringing Cell Max into this? Because Cell Max is a different character.
Like, Cell Max is a completely different thing. Maybe they just use that visage for script purposes.
To recreate the most fearsome warrior in the universe is one single Cell.
Hey, real quick, did you know Death Metal launched our own tabletop gaming channel? It's called The Nightly Brew. We're doing Dungeons and Dragons, Blood on the Clock Tower, and a bunch of other stuff. I'd love if you could check it out. We just finished our campaign through the old school Tomb of Horrors, the most infamous dungeon in D&D history. Here's a clip. You quadruple in size and bump into multiple of the columns. There's no way you can fit in this room without touching columns. So you begin floating up.
This is my
into
last
the air
character.
as giant balloon soot
You hate his eyebrows? What do you mean? He's got them Super Saiyan 3 eyebrows.
drifts closer to the demon face. God. When he gets just a couple feet away from the mouth, soot disappears.
Oh shit! Crying. You were like, "Oh, this dungeon's terrible. It's the most like everybody dies. It's the hardest thing." And I was like, "We've got this." These other sessions, and then we hit this fucking room, and I am at my limit. I hate this with all of my being.
Time and again, the world and its cuddly forest critters were threatened by the evil and oval Dr. Ivo Eggman Robotnik.
And time and again, that same world and those same critters were saved by Sonic the Hedgehog. No matter how many robotic badniks the good doctor threw at his blue spiky nemesis, his schemes were always 6 spin jumps to the glowing wing spot away from getting cracked and scrambled.
But it wouldn't be over easy for Eggman. If he couldn't defeat the Blue Blur, he would make his own Metal Sonic.
Well, Zero.
The design of Metal Sonic, man, from that 1996 Sonic the Hedgehog OVA goes so fucking hard. This holds up so brilliantly. Like, just Eggman aside, because I won't lie, as much as I love classic Sonic, I much prefer the Adventure Era redesign. But this look for Metal Sonic is menacing, bro.
Points on creativity for that name, but goddamn, he does look metal as hell.
They say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, so Eggman built metal with more than enough blast processing to match his prototype.
Metal can zoom around at massive.
I should put on a Sonic shirt for this. Well, I'm wearing a Persona shirt, which is Atlas. That's owned by Sega, so close enough.
Hypersonic speeds, fast enough to fly to nearby planets in seconds.
He's tougher than Eggman's standard equipment, some of which can survive black holes.
All right, hold on. All right, height 3'3", weight 276 pounds, alias Hyper Metal Sonic, Metal Overlord, Metal X. Okay, well, those aren't aliases; those are alternate forms. Main CPU, Lips AI, Eggman custom chip, frame, Monokokoi titanium, engine 15 CU 4 valve Orgos fusion engine, Likes destroying Sonic and Breezy. Hates Sonic. Alright.
Metal can use all of Sonic's power-ups and even replicate his classic spin dash and light speed attack.
But he's got moves of his own.
He can attack with energy blast, fire a chest laser, surround himself in an electric aura, or an impenetrable force field.
By overloading his circuitry with energy, Metal can activate V maximum overdrive, quadrupling his acceleration and obliterating anything in his path, at the risk of self-destructing.
You'd think all that'd be enough to turn the rodent into roadkill, but it only took one showdown on Stardust Speedway to send Metal to the scrap heap.
On paper, Metal should be able to outmatch Sonic in every way, and yet he doesn't. For some reason, Eggman wasn't able to capture that ineffable quality that makes Sonic the fastest thing alive. Metal's defeats at the hands of Sonic and his friends sharpen his AI into a seething hatred of his rival and a burning desire to prove himself superior.
No, wrong. Metal constant defeats of Sonic had left Metal Sonic, or constant defeats by Sonic had left Metal Sonic with effectively a broken psyche, to where he believes he is the real Sonic. Sonic is the copy that must be defeated.
Yeah, well, when you're getting your supersized red ass handed to you by Charmy B, you know something's gone horribly wrong.
Metal's defeats gave him an existential crisis.
Okay,
if
here
he
we
was
go.
created to surpass Sonic and couldn't even manage that, what was he? Why should he exist?
Never one to admit defeat, Eggman took Metal.
Oh, they're using the IDW comics here. What? That's a pretty much guaranteed Cell victory. The IDW comics are so underpowered compared to the original Archie canon.
Back to the drawing board and birthed him anew. You.
Also, they didn't even mention Metal... Oh, okay, never mind. Here's Metal Overlord.
This Neo Metal Sonic was, above all, far smarter.
Especially after he copied Eggman's intelligence and took over his empire. And we mean literally copied. If Metal started as Sonic's copycat, why not hunt all of his furry friends down and copy them too?
Neo Metal Sonic is equipped with
Alright. Flight, spin dash, homing attack, chest laser, V maximum overdrive, ring spark field, black shield, copycat, chaos control. Yes, good. They've got chaos control in here. Time stop, warping, teleportation, spatial distortion, power ups, lost labyrinth treasure, hyper go on energy, dark rings, chaos emeralds, master emerald. Okay.
scanners in his optic receptors that can copy a person's biodata, giving him the ability to recreate all of their abilities in seconds.
Like the Sonic Boom, Knuckles' hammer punch, Tails' magical swiveling asshole, and Big's ability to suck at fishing.
Metal isn't just learning their moves,
I noticed that they didn't mention any of Shadow the Hedgehog's completely broken time manipulation abilities.
he can replicate more esoteric powers like silver psychokinesis, manufacture Rouge's mechanical bat guards, or alter his very biology to copy Espio's chameleon invisibility. It's worth mentioning that biological data is a real scientific term and can refer to molecular structures like the genome sequence within a living organism's DNA.
Yeah, his copying is so busted, it doesn't really matter that he's a robot made of metal. If you can do it, so can he. Probably helps that he can shapeshift and regenerate his whole body from a puddle.
Likely by copying one of the mightiest beings on the planet, the god of destruction, Chaos.
The greatest boss in Sonic the Hedgehog history.
Not the only chaos he's encountered.
By scanning the ultimate life form, Shadow the Hedgehog,
Okay,
he
here
gained
it
his
is.
ability to manipulate
Here
some
it
of the most powerful artifacts in the universe.
What is Chaos Control? It controls the Chaos Emeralds. Is it control Chaos Emeralds? No, it's using the energy from the Chaos Control to manipulate space and time itself.
You mean the Chaos Emeralds?
Yes, the emeralds contain an infinite wellspring of mystical power and life energy. With them, Metal can perform Shadow's chaos control. He can teleport, warp, and distort space, boost his speed, and stop time. And with either the Chaos Emeralds or Master Emerald, he can transform into Super Neo Metal Sonic.
Come.
Now, this is still from the IDW comics. He's still underpowered compared to his Archie comics counterpart, but this is probably the most powerful he ever was in the IDW comics, was Super Neo Metal Sonic.
Completely invulnerable and completely golden, Super Neo Metal Sonic can move at faster than light speeds and has the power to move continents.
The emeralds are inconceivably powerful.
See, but yeah, see, there it is. Has the power to move continents. They were already talking about how Cell has the ability to destroy solar systems, if not galaxies. Metal can do the same thing if you're going off the Archie comics. Like the power scaling in the Archie comics is so busted.
They've been used to fuel Eggman's Death Egg, which could obliterate star systems.
On their own, they can even create and destroy whole universes.
Other super characters like Sonic have battled and defeated beings like the Time Eater, who could destroy multiple dimensions and timelines in seconds. At their peak, 3 super hedgehogs have even fought Solaris, who nearly consumed Sonic's entire multiverse.
So super.
But see, alright, consume Sonic's entire multiverse. Remember, Metal Sonic is the equal of Sonic in every way. Base form Sonic the Hedgehog in the Archie comics was so powerful. In base form, he outran a multiversal Big Bang, as in the Big Bang that in a singular moment created the universe. Sonic outran, in base form, a multiversal Big Bang. So, of course, Metal Sonic would be able to do the same thing. It's sounding like they're lowballing him so hard here.
Neo Metal Sonic should be just as powerful as any of them, though he's gotta be quick because all that power only lasts a short time.
The road to total domination was nearly at an end. After manipulating Sonic and friends and copying their abilities, Metal...
When did Sonic and Archie it's like the early 90s, and it ran all the way through like 2016 or something. Sonic the Hedgehog has holds the world record for longest running video game based comic of all time. Yeah, Archie Comics started in like 94, 96 or something, ran to like 2016 or whatever.
Eventually combined their biodata with the mighty Egg Fleet and became Metal Overlord.
Complete with missiles, giant crystal projectiles, and the strength to match 3 supersonic heroes all by himself, Overlord is all-time final boss material.
And he knew it. His ego might as well have had its own health bar. Metal's drive to surpass his rival had morphed into the delusional belief that...
yeah, Dr. Wily and Robotnik teamed up. Yeah, there was a Sonic the Hedgehog Mega Man crossover during the Archie days with, Dr. Wily and Dr. Robotnik teaming up. It was really good. It's got like 4 or 6 issues. I have it somewhere.
He was the original, and Sonic the loathsome copy.
A copy that Metal had finally outclassed. All the heroes Metal had gathered had to team up to take him down.
He may have stolen their abilities, but Metal never possessed the thing that made the Sonic heroes successful: their friendship and teamwork.
Aw, how cute! Gag. Probably should have added some of those goddamn rails to the final boss fight, because it is impossible to land on those things. After getting trashed again, Eggman reprogrammed Metal to purge any bits of rebelliousness from his code.
Metal returned to being the Eggman Army's chief enforcer, always proving invaluable as the Bad Doctor's greatest creation, now completely obedient once again.
I don't know, Wiz. Who knows what's really going on behind those glowing red eyes? Maybe Metal is more cunning than he lets on, and is only biding his time until he can take over again.
Maybe the most powerful thing that Metal copied was the ability to lie.
Alrighty, we're about to get to the battle. Normally I don't skip the ads, but let's be real, Death Battle gets enough money. They'll be fine with one random lowly YouTuber skipping the ads. Let's go.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
The egg carrier survived? It looked like the egg carrier survived. Okay, we're good. He hit everything else in the egg fleet, but the egg carrier survived, and that's what matters.
Salutations, Dr. Robotnik. Your reputation precedes you.
Is this, the guy that does Cell in the Dragon Ball Z Abridged? Like Takahata 101 or whatever?
Bring me your strongest fighter, or face... Then prepare to kneel before your master.
Oh, it's Devil Artemis? Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, I won't lie though, the music goes fucking hard. The music is kind of a blend between the Bruce Faulkner era Cell music, but also fits the Sonic vibe. Now, this isn't just Cell's music. This isn't just Cell's theme. This is a variation on his theme. This is a remix of some sort.
Tell me, does a machine like yourself ever experience fear?
He stole Vegeta's line. This fucking thief stole Vegeta's line.
Not anymore!
Okay, I was worried about this, so I'm glad they did it right, because they did Metal Overlord after Super Neo Metal Sonic, and Super Neo Metal Sonic is more powerful than Metal Overlord, so him going Metal Overlord now, that checks out. Is Cell using a variation of the Death Egg as a fucking spirit bomb? And yes, this animation is banging. You were correct, Dax.
Fool, you're dealing with the ultimate life form.
And now he's stealing Shadow's line.
I already possess his data.
Okay, fair enough. Good comeback.
Observe chaos. Done. Lifeform data successfully copied. Scum.
I can't believe I didn't think about that idea. Alright, so here's how they're probably going to swing it. They're probably going to give the dub to Cell because Metal Sonic copying people's data has never gotten him the dub before. Why would it give him the dub now? Watch the fire again. It is Cell's transformation. What fire? What fire?
I already possess his data. Observe chaos.
Oh, hold on.
Fool, you're dealing with the ultimate.
Oh, you're right. Okay, I see exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, that is how Cell, like, when he first became Perfect Cell, how it is animated. But it's in an enveloping green instead. You're right.
Life form. I already possess his data.
What up, Hayden?
Chaos. Done. Life form data successfully copied. Scum.
And now it's going into the more Crush 40 style music. Well done.
It'll take more than that to kill me, puppet! I know. Now I know everything about you, insect.
He copied Cell's fucking tap to the head thing. They definitely have fun with the animation on this. They had fun with the animation. I'll give them that. Now, if they want this to be actually hype, if they wanted this to truly get the Sonic fanboys a-whilin', then they would bring in Metal Knuckles, Tails Doll, Metal Amy, maybe some E10 series robots, and like they would be the ones that fight the Cell Juniors. Okay, or he just copies, makes more Metal Sonics. That's not near as fucking cool. You could have gone full fanboy and you didn't.
Don't you dare.
There's been a bit too many abridged references, alright? There's been a bit too many abridged references. Metal Sonic is gonna lose his his Super Neo Metal Sonic power, and Cell is gonna take the W.
I am not just the greatest warrior in the universe. I am all of them! If you are all of them.
I might be pleasantly surprised here. Are we actually gonna get the Metal Sonic dub that should have... Did Death Battle get it right for once?
And so am I. I'll never lose.
Oh, damn it! Damn it!
Like
And this isn't just a Crush 40 reference. This is a complete remix of What I'm Made Of, the final boss theme from Sonic Heroes. I'm just now picking up on it. I get the guitar part was doing the vocals.
I'll crush you.
Oh! Oh, that's cold. You're right. You're right, Sea-Wink. That is cold. Oh, dude. Actual rare death battle dub.
KO! So, now Metal's got all the powers of the Chaos Emeralds and the Z Fighters? Well, that world's fucked. Our bad.
Cell may have been one of the greatest threats in Dragon Ball Z, but Eggman's greatest creation ultimately proved too much for him. What?
Yeah, it is actually accurate, Hayden Wayne. Correct. And, like, I've been trying to tell people for years. And, look, I love Dragon Ball. I'm a Dragon Ball fucking fanboy, okay? I'm a Dragon Ball fanboy. But the Sonic canon, especially when you bring in the comics, is so stupidly OP it dwarfs Dragon Ball. It really does.
Let's break this down into 4 categories: strength, speed, abilities, and adaptation.
First up, who was the strongest? Well, it's no surprise that any version of Cell was gonna be way more powerful than base Metal or Neo. Even just using the manga, blowing up a solar system is far beyond the level of power output Metal can match.
Without his stronger forms. With them, the power gap entirely reversed. Not only could Metal match Cell's solar system busting or scaling from Frieza, but he could surpass it with the universe-destroying power of the Emeralds.
But hang on, Wiz, those Namekians
Multiverse destroying, by the way. Multiverse destroying, not universe.
said that Cell was strong enough to threaten a universe on his own.
They did, but they didn't specify how, and there's nothing suggesting he could destroy it in one go, especially since it's only brought up theoretically and without any time frame.
Even being generous and assuming he could just blow it up, final bosses like Time Eater and Solaris can destroy the wider multiverse, and Super Neo Metal would scale to them. Metal Sonic takes the edge in strength.
And with Sonic characters being known for their speed, you might think that was an easy win for Metal.
At his max speed in his super form, he should be comparable to entities like the Time Eater, who in Shadow Generations can destroy entire universes in seconds. By using the radius of the observable universe, we can estimate the Time Eater's destructive wave traveled at about 180 quadrillion times faster than light.
Certainly impressive, but let's compare that to Goku's flight from heaven to hell shortly after the Cell games, which covered roughly a universe in distance at approximately 180 quadrillion times faster than light.
Oh, hey, just like Time Eater. The difference, though, was that Goku was in his base form, way slower than Super Saiyan 2 Gohan or Super Perfect Cell.
Factoring in Super Saiyan multipliers, Super Perfect Cell can move up.
Did they just get the multipliers wrong again?
Upwards of 100 times faster than that, and so 100 times faster than Metal Sonic. Somehow, Cell takes the edge in speed. You know, the thing Metal was designed for.
Wasn't expecting that. Let's see if any of their abilities could
And again, had they used Archie comics, it would not have been the case.
tip the scales.
They shared many of the same powers, like telekinesis, force fields, and energy projectiles. Of note though, Cell's regeneration was clearly superior, able to fully heal from a single cluster of microscopic cells.
On
But Metal Sonic would know that because he copied the bio data.
top of that, Cell's Saiyan genes would let him grow in power every time he almost died, and his Cell Juniors gave him the numbers advantage.
And considering Super Neo Metal had a time limit, Cell would have a big advantage in a battle of attrition.
But with Chaos Control, that became a lot tougher.
Cell and his juniors had no way to deal with Metal boosting his speed or stopping time.
Which is funny because do you know who would have an edge in doing that? Goku. Conceivably, Goku even would be able to deal with this because he's dealt with Hit doing it. Goku has learned how to fight through time manipulation like Chaos Control.
Something that countered Cell's speed advantage and left him open. And with Silver's psychokinesis, or the Emerald's spatial distortion, Metal could seriously impair Cell's healing.
So it helped that Cell could fall back.
I would say it's better to keep Archie out, show how the main games are OP too. Well, to be fair, the games aren't that OP. You have to bring in the supplemental material for the Sonic character to stand a chance. The games don't give us, like, there's some things that are comparable, but really not much. Like, if you're going games to Dragon Ball usually does win. And they bring in the IDW comics in this, so they're still using supplemental material.
On his martial arts abilities in a pinch.
Despite effectively being a newborn, Cell's genetic
Archie Sonic versus Goku, I would say up through Z, Sonic wins. Once you get into Super, and you get things like Ultra Instinct and whatnot, then it becomes a fight I have to sit there and really think about. But if we're just doing, like, up through Z, Sonic from the Archie comics obliterates Goku. Obliterates Goku.
instincts allowed him to best Earth's most skilled warriors back to back to back.
Metal may have copied Eggman's brains, but he definitely isn't as good of a fighter. The Sonic heroes haven't trained like the Z fighters, and Metal's been beaten by all of them a bunch of times. So all that in mind, abilities is roughly a wash.
Which leaves us with the one thing they're both known for, their capability to evolve and become more powerful in response to their opponents, aka their adaptation.
And frankly, that's where this back and forth completely breaks. Because at the end of the day, Metal can copy Cell, but Cell can't absorb Metal.
Cell's ability to physically absorb an opponent is primarily viable against foes he can match or overpower.
Even if he took Metal by surprise, he can't absorb fully inorganic robots like Android 16.
Cell was only able to absorb androids 17 and 18 because they were primarily organic.
They're actually more like cyborgs and are only
Not more like cyborgs. They are cyborgs.
called androids in the English translation.
Correct.
Metal, on the other hand, can copy a target's biodata through only a few seconds of direct eyesight, something he could easily accomplish during a time stop.
And using it on Cell means he wouldn't just get Cell's powers, but the powers of all of the Z Warriors too.
Honestly, their rationale is perfect here. I completely agree with their rationale.
Remember, Metal's copying applies to abilities that fundamentally affect his
And yes, I do agree, by the way. I do agree that Death Battle has a bias against Dragon Ball. I've only seen them give Dragon Ball the dub twice. It was Vegeta versus Shadow and 18 versus Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel or whatever. Like, you really trying to tell me that Kirby could beat Boo? Bullshit. That was absolute bullshit.
own biology, like Espio's invincibility or Chaos's liquid body. Nothing Cell has would be off limits,
And, well, and also, Metal Sonic using the invisibility would have been a huge boon here. He didn't even use it, but that definitely would have helped as well, because invisibility so Cell wouldn't be able to track him because Metal Sonic doesn't have a key. So, like, a lot of Dragon Ball characters, you turn invisible, whatever, they can still sense your key. But since Metal Sonic doesn't have a key, Cell would literally be blind.
especially given all of Cell's powers were genetically encoded in the first place. Quite literally, biodata.
Cell's Saiyan power-ups? Copied. Cell's regeneration? Copied. Cell's key techniques? Believe it or not, copied.
Chaos Emeralds are described as being able to produce life energy, similar to Ki. So there's a precedent for him being able to replicate Cell's power set. And at this point, there's nothing stopping Metal from, say, stopping time and using a Kamehameha to vaporize him at a cellular.
I haven't finished Dragon Ball Heroes because the animation was ass. I'll get to it eventually, but I mean, it was such a fucking ugly series. I haven't watched it all the way through.
Level, just like Gohan did.
Cell might be able to do anything the Z fighters know how to do, but that's not gonna help him, cause Metal can do anything Cell knows how to do. Strange, isn't it?
Cell just doesn't have any.
I appreciate that reference way more than all the Dragon Ball Bridge references. That was a direct quote, just slightly altered with Cell's name from the OVA animation. Sonic is all like, you know everything I'm going to do, but because of that, I know everything that you're going to do that you know that I'm going to do. Strange, isn't it? Like, that was a good reference.
Options to retaliate that Metal wouldn't also possess, including any of his previous advantages. Metal's copy ability is just that overpowered.
Oh, I guess now I get why they called it Sonic CD.
Why's that?
Cell died. Wiz, you get it? CD? Wiz, where you go? Come on back. Next time on
All right, that was good. That was good. All right, let's see what they're doing next time, real quick.
Death Battle.
Oh, it's Chainsaw Man or someone. Oh, Bomb Devil versus Bakugo. We'll probably cover that one. I don't like Chainsaw Man, but I do like My Hero, so we'll probably cover that one. Either way, that was... I don't like giving Death Battle credit, because I don't like Death Battle, but I'm with Daxnar. No complaints on that one. No complaints. Well done. I agree with the outcome. I absolutely do. I agree.